Welcome, everyone, to Superman and Lois TV Talk. I am here with my friends Frank and Derek talking about Season 4, Episode 7. I haven't introduced myself yet. My name is Robin, but I've introduced the other two, so I guess I'll just keep talking.
What an interesting way to bring us into an episode.
Robin, you've always just been a regular guy.
A regular guy.
Just a regular guy just trying to host a regular show.
A regular podcast for a regular guy.
Actually, I'll be right back. I am rather irregular right now.
Kidding.
Joke. That's a joke.
That's not a... Okay.
Did that make you irritable?
It was a choice.
Well,
I'm not going to say it was the right one, but...
You know, when a man of a certain age says that, you just got to kind of take it seriously in case, you know, you never want to...
You are getting some gray patches up there, Robin. You've been aging.
Patches?
No. Not
Got to get the Just for Men out.
Not yet.
What's up?
No, the salt looks good.
It's sexy. It's sexy on you, sir.
Yeah,
It's good.
You look handsome.
Right.
Good.
No pepper.
No pepper. I'm so excited to talk about this epised that on paper I would tell you I hated, but when watching it, loved very much.
On paper, I would have hated it.
Yeah.
In practice, I liked it.
Yeah,
I
liked it.
I was really intrigued because, Derek, you saw it first and immediately pronounced it was possibly your favorite episode of Superman and Lois, which
it might be.
Really?
It might be.
It tackles some good stuff here.
I mean, I have crow's eyes for nostalgia. I have
Russell Crowe's?
Yes, I have a soft spot
Smallville
for
Crows.
the Smallville Crows. I have
I should have went for that one.
Soft spot for when due is paid to previous incarnations, and that was done out the hedges of this one. I lost track of Easter eggs.
I think in the last podcast we were complaining about no shirt rips. And
it was like, here,
I'll hold my
3
beer.
in 1 minute.
You get a shirt rip. You get a shirt rip. I was telling Michael Bailey was on Small Shoe this weekend for the for episodes Perry and Relic, and I was telling him, of course, he's absolutely loving this season. One thing I hate about only having a certain number of episodes is we can't bring in all our friends that have. I mean, we could, but the episodes don't lend themselves to us having a Rolodex of rotating guests to get Steve and Bailey and Tucker and Craig and everybody that's been here so far, and hopefully we will get to have at least a couple of them. But I was telling him, that Bailey has adored this season just time and time again, and I said, well, you gotta get a shirt rip, and you'll get a shirt rip, and he sent me an Oprah meme. You get a shirt rip. You get a shirt rip. I mean, we were discussing. Tyler's had 3. And only 1 proper on the show, and I lost track around 4 in this one. I think 3, 4.
I think there were 4.
Yeah,
we've had more shirt rips in this one episode than we had in the entire series up until now.
Yeah, I'm not arguing it, but I mean, I really did start losing track of the Easter eggs because, the telephone booth happened. Well, I really loved the opening sequence. Mm-hmm. In fact, we posted on the Twitter that. I think it's one of the best opening sequences of the show, if not rivaling. It's hard to touch the pilot one because they succinctly did the Genesis story so well, and so I still marvel at how well that was done.
Yeah,
that they were able to do the origin and get us to present day in that short span of time.
Yeah, my notes coming into this episode are basically we just kind of get a voiceover from Clark about being both Clark and Superman, and really how hard it is to blend in. His blending in it's really tough to blend in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true.
I blending it.
You'd hate to be a human target if someone discovered.
Yeah.
Just wanted to roll that one across the finish line.
Yeah, I mean, and what are you going to do? Look up in the sky next?
You went off on a tangent. I could argue whether or not it's my favorite episode or this is the best sequence, but I think there's one thing you cannot dispute, and this is something else I said about it. I think this is Tyler's finest hour of the series.
I will agree with you there. I will
down.
wholeheartedly agree with you there. That was, yes, this was his superest. He
had to do something that has been done and undone in the past, and Smallville's done it, Supergirl's done it. Other iterations have where he has revealed himself to the world, and most usually fall generally flat for me because I'm not a fan of the concept at all. I think one of the reasons it works here for me is because we've only got 3 hours remaining with these people.
Right.
And I hope it's all for not. I don't want the rug pulled out from under us with something that's not going to undo it, but going to make it have been all for naught. I guess we'll see with the remaining hours, but and we'll touch on this more as the episode goes on, I'm sure, because I think all of us kind of aren't the biggest fans of the concept. Like we said on paper, but it was they just executed it so well in this episode. It was hard to not like it, but it you can write it all day long, you can block it all day long, you can go through the motions, you can make sure the effects are in order, but at the end of the day, if you don't have a Superman that you're willing to believe can fly, that can pull this off, it would have just fell completely flat. And Hecklin has proved that he belongs on the Mount Rushmore of Superman. I don't care what fandom you're from, what Venn diagram you belong to, how long you have loved this character. If you've loved him since 1938, he needs to be recognized right up there with Reeve. He has now, I guess aside from Reeves and Kane, played the character in the most amount of filmable hours, not including Tom, but as Superman proper in a Superman costume. Lois and Clark.
Is that really true?
Well, I mean, let's see. Lois and Clark had 4 seasons. Adventures of Superman had, what, 5?
Adventures had 6.
6, yeah. So
those are all longer seasons.
Then those are all much longer seasons, obviously.
Except the last few were cut in half. The color season
of those, but and then Lois and Clark is a network broadcast seasons. What 22 episodes a season? So definitely as far as that goes, being on camera more. But you're right. He is the embodiment of all things Superman, and his Clark is just so good. I think Professor Bailey's ready to call him his favorite Superman if he hasn't already. And I have such a hard time saying, well, he's my favorite Clark, because we've done a Smallville podcast for 20 years about Clark Kent. So it's hard to...
Smallville's kind of in its own category, though, because it's not a typical Superman show,
Well, I feel like the same thing with Reeve. It's like you just kind of have to set those out of the sandbox and compare the rest, which, it's an unfair advantage to others to put him up against Reeve. But, man, I just watching this and then immediately turning around and watching it again, because I was like... Maybe I just got blinded by all the references and everything, and was like, that's why I think it's so good. So let me watch it with those blinders off now. And I watched it again, and I think that scene in the diner was so well done that I think we talked about on the show a couple of weeks ago. When you get the screener emails from CW, any network, they have the list of non-mentionables, and
I'd love to know what was told not to mention.
Nothing. Yeah. It was pretty much the entire episode. Like, one thing I did notice is it didn't mention to not reference any of the mini Superman the movie Easter eggs.
Oh, interesting.
That were done. So I wasn't anticipating those going in, but obviously the person who joins us in the diner later in the episode, their name showed up, and I was like, interesting. What will that lead to? So, and then obviously when that scene hits, and it was also an episode where I was like, how much time's left? Like, I feel like I was like, it's got to be almost over. And then there was like 10 minutes left.
Yeah. A lot of story in 42 minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah, but from the jump, Robin, talking about the opening narration, it felt different. Like it there was a vibe that something else is going on here. We've heard Tyler do opening narrations before talking to us, and I didn't feel like he was talking to us when he started talking. So I already was like, okay, are we already doing this with 3 hours left? That seemed like a finale kind of thing.
Right.
And it also makes me wonder what the finale is, because Helbing and Fletcher have been like, oh, we're going to do something in the finale that's never been done in Superman live action before. And I think everybody kind of thought it was the reveal. And of course, you know, I want to be like, okay, well, yeah, I mean, Supergirl did the exact same thing. Which is not Superman.
Tony Stark.
Yeah, but I mean, Smallville did it in an episode with Tori Spelling. Did that whole episode where he reveals himself and then obviously goes back and is able to undo it. But it's been done, and but it ain't been done this well. I'll say that much, and then I'll shut up because I've been rambling, and that's Frank's job.
Hey.
I will say that this was a really cool hour to kind of sell us on Clark coming to that decision. It does feel a little rushed to me, but given that we have limited time, I think the really interesting part is to see the after effects in the next couple episodes.
Yes.
To see if Solomon Grundy is walking across the border of Smallville being like, I know where Superman live now. Like what is going to be the backlash? I mean, I can understand the entire Earth being like, oh, I love him. We love him. It's Superman. Of course, he's a regular guy, that you can get a beer with, and he lives in a small town. But like, how many villains are like,
we're coming for you
I'm heading
now.
to Smallville now.
Yeah.
Like,
well, yeah, I mean, that's absolutely my, on Smallville, that was always the thing of like, well, but I have to, all the people that'll be exposed, the people in my life that could get hurt. And so like, how does that play out? We've already seen what happens when Lex finds out, right? So like, what will others do? There's got to be some kind of consequence. So I wonder how they're going to address that.
And for an episode that didn't feature Lex at all, I anticipated it ending with him watching the broadcast, and that'd be our cliffhanger until the next one. But obviously, he was the puppet behind with the strings, he was the puppet master in this one anyway, because
it's actually Puppet Master's monster.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
it's a common misconception. It's Dr. Puppet Master. It's
Puppet. Puppet is how you pronounce it.
Obviously, he was the one pulling the strings with Candace's dad showing up. And, the whole time you want to be like, okay, now I hear the fan.
Not mine.
Well, that's weird. What do I hear?
Is it a bird? Is it a plane?
No,
there it goes.
It's gone. It's done, whenever it was.
You didn't do anything to...
Mm-mm. Was somebody's water running or something?
No, I was hearing it in my headphones.
I have no idea. It wasn't in here. That's weird. I don't have water up here, so it couldn't have been me, but it sounded like water running. Okay, edit! Sorry. What were we saying? Candace's dad. Lex.
Luther in prison.
I'll bring it back around. Which, again, when he showed up at the diner, I was like, oh, that's why you don't tell Candace? That's the reason right there. But I was wrong.
How dare
Candace,
you?
I was wrong, and I apologize. It was wrong of me to assume that you betrayed.
We all doubted
Jonathan's
her
trust.
honor.
Yeah.
I mean, I made the same assumption, right? But I did hear him say like he was right? He said he, not she, and I was like, oh, so there's.
I wondered about that
then we
too.
find out his legs,
a few minutes into it. I don't know. Lex's murder crime versus whatever he did's crime seemed like they wouldn't be in the same cell block, but that's whatever. We'll get there. Let's jump into it. It's just a really good scene. Right. A really good scene for a regular guy.
I did not have a lot of time to kind of break this into various storylines. There really is just the one. Besides Kyle and Chrissy's problems. And I'm really like, I hear you talking about so many Easter eggs. And I'm sure I caught maybe a couple, but I'm please fill them in as we go along, because I can't wait to watch this episode again.
So Jimmy had like
Jimmy had the pictures, so like the helicopter, the first save, and all the pictures he had. Lois telling the boys,
boys.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was cueing Frank up there, or not.
Have you home?
No. What are you doing? You have it all the time, and the one time I cue you for it. There you go. If you were to, I know that's been our long-standing joke on this show for 4 seasons. If you were to drink every time they said "boys" in this episode, you would die. You would die, succumb to alcohol poisoning. So don't do that.
Alcohol poisoning.
Lois tells the boys, "Look, your dad was on an island by himself for like a dozen years." So there's you didn't catch that, or you?
I didn't catch that one.
Yeah, it was right before.
Did I watch this episode?
Maybe you didn't, but Lois is at the table talking to the twins by herself, and
when she's like, he's been keeping the secret his whole life, and that's why it's so important to him since he was 4, yada yada. Yeah. Like she says,
was on an island. You said,
well, the Fortress of Solitude. He was, he was there by himself for
All right, all right. Rather than just list them all up at the top, let's as we go through them, just drop them in. If it doesn't come up conversation. Okay, so we start with the voiceover, great stuff, and some flashbacks, which are cool, and some previously filmed stuff. But we get 2 shirt rips, and we got the Fleischer and we got the regular one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those are ones we've seen before. That wasn't something that kind of dropped.
We had seen the Fleischer one before, but the other one was new.
Oh, okay.
I like how they kind of gave us the other side of those scenes we had already seen, the before of those. The Fleischer one, but now the telephone booth obviously was new after Fleischer.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was new.
The telephone booth, man, I do have to watch this again.
Yeah,
how did you? That's like in the first 2 minutes he runs into the telephone booth and spins
the revolving
around.
door thing, and he comes out.
Oh, Robin, I want to stop and let you watch.
Send your hate mail too.
Come on now. It was one of the first things too. Like I told Tim, I said I was folding laundry while I was watching, and I got a towel down, and then that happened, and I was like, I'm out. Like I just
this isn't a laundry folding show.
No, it's not.
Not this one.
Not this one.
All right, we go to Britton Dunn's, our favorite convenience store, and there's some plane problems happening on the news behind Denise, and Denise just kind of like looks at Clark, and Clark's, I forgot my wallet, and the third shirt rip.
Yeah. Well, and that was funny because we had been, as you said, we've been talking about the shirt rips in the last episode, and we discovered there were 2 shirt rips coming. There was the one we had talked about that was either at the football stadium or at the rodeo / fairgrounds or whatever where Lex met Doomsday.
Dog track.
Right, dog track.
Rodeo.
And then there was the one of these, the third one in the opening sequence. And so when the second one hit, and we hadn't even seen that one in previews, I was like, wait a minute, that's a totally different one.
Shirt rip central.
Yeah.
We get the great gag. We see this before, but it's always fun to see the whole, like, you see the news in the background and just Superman flies in, saves everything, and leaves, and then Clark comes back in found my wallet, I
just went to the parking lot. I don't
And Denise just like, you're back already? Just not really realizing how fast super speed could be. But also, I think this is one of the first attempts, which not all these really kind of sold it to me. If I believed that Clark was Superman, I wouldn't be like, oh, he was just in the parking lot, so I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
think Denise would still believe this is Superman in front of him.
Is speed not one of his known abilities after 2 decades? But maybe not to a young girl, I don't know, but I was, a teenage girl, but I was, would know his entire chart and history and everything. But I was, again, I would be a little, I would have much rather her turned around and him already been standing there than coming back in the door. Like that would have sold it a little bit more for me, but I don't care. I still loved every second of it. What I thought was going to happen when we read the official description for this, because there was something about Clark enlisting the help of the boys to keep the secret in town.
Boys.
Yes. And what is that from? 4 years I've never asked.
It's from Crisis, right? It's from the end of Crisis when she's
But
like, "Oh, the boys are yada yada yada."
That line is, but that's not what that is it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Really?
It's from that. Yeah.
Doesn't sound like
He
Tyler
sounds
at all to
very
me.
unlike Tyler.
It doesn't sound like Tyler at all to me. It sounds,
Boys.
That's him.
Sounds like
it's from
John-
straight from the Crisis episode. I mean, I think I did some trying to remove some of the whoosh of him
the
flying.
whoosh
So
of-
probably,
okay, all right.
yeah.
Fair enough. What is that? Well, you got a whole band there. I thought he was going to get the boys to like help him do saves while he was standing in front of somebody
yeah.
to make it look like it was Superman doing
Classic Superman Green Arrow switch.
Right.
Right.
And then I thought maybe one of them's going to screw something up, and probably Jordan. Sorry, Jordan. He's
on break.
He's been typecast.
He's not doing Super Duty.
So I kind of thought that maybe that was what was going to happen, but obviously what he did enlist them for was a lot harder to watch when we got there. It's bad when they make you feel. I hate when shows make you feel bad for the bully. That's
I know.
that's a long-standing trope I'm not a fan of.
Even I'm like, we're gaslighting the kid now. I don't know.
All right, wait, skip ahead there. All right, so we're at the farm, and Lois is making a pretty big mistake, which is assembling a crib that is going somewhere else
Yes,
in
you
a room.
don't-
Like,
no.
as fathers,
Yes,
we don't. You
that
assemble
was-
the crib in the room.
In
it's
the
supposed to be in.
room.
That
How?
In the room.
that was a mistake.
And she got that. She took it out of the house and brought it to the Smallville Gazette. Even
Yeah.
got it
And
in
then-
that door.
And then she's going to pass it off on Chrissy, like, here, your problem now. Get it home.
There you go.
And it is.
Yeah.
It's a very large old crib. That's bigger than their apartment is. I'm pretty
Definitely.
sure. That's what Chrissy
Lois,
said.
the boys and Clark learned that we don't want to mess with Lois while she's working on these things.
Yes.
but yeah.
It did remind me. I'm so glad you said that because it reminded me of Gomer building the car inside, maybe inside the sheriff's office.
Yes.
All right.
That's a good
Is
pull.
Is that Dukes of Hazzard?
Oh
Gomer.
God, Robin.
No.
Robin.
Andy Griffith.
Oh, I'm sorry. Gosh, I don't. Andy Griffith. I've seen some episodes as a kid. Cannot recall
Ah, my
names.
my
Barney, Andy,
your appeal for
little Richie Cunningham, and that's it.
It's Opie Cunningham.
Opie Cunningham.
Oh, okay. All right. So Clark has a list, and it's not people he's going to kill. It's people that he's going.
Keep going.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to prove that he's not Superman too.
You deserve this.
So he got Denise. Now he's got to take care of Adie Manning and Coach Gaines. And we a little update on the Luther case. We find out Lex is in his Metropolis apartment, which I was like, he's got just an apartment.
I mean, it's probably a penthouse.
It's probably
building?
that one we saw in the flashbacks with the wife, that giant penthouse apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Henry is off screen working on off screen Otis. Okay. So we go to Kyle and Chrissy's, and they're looking on Zillow. Well, generic Zillow. At a very
Jillo.
expensive house.
Jilla.
Jillo.
I love that they're looking at it in internet browser. Everybody's
Yes.
favorite internet
Yes.
browser.
Favorite.
Don't
yes.
you use internet browser?
Yeah.
One of us. What?
So back on Main Street, Clark turns down a coach request from Gaines, and also kind of expresses a little bit of chagrin. I think he was trying to woo the boys with girls
Yes.
to come join the team.
Yes.
I like the way he handled that, by the way. Like, I didn't really appreciate that.
Nope.
No.
And
By the way.
the coach is talking about Jonathan's history of using drugs. It's like, we know he really didn't need that. Wink, wink. Wink, wink.
Clark's like, I don't think anybody needs drugs.
But Clark pulls a classic Kent move, which is faking an injury, getting his hand slammed in the car door. And
Wait,
I guess this kind of sells the coach.
Ow. Ow.
Ow.
Ow.
Ow.
This sells the coach that he's not Superman.
Again,
Somebody get this guy some ice.
you people are very gullible. I mean,
Yeah.
But okay, but very trusting, I guess. Very.
He also has a power of
fallible.
super acting.
Yes.
So it's super believable.
Yes. He just plays.
I wonder.
He plays dorky Clark so well.
He does it so
and
well.
it's kind of refreshing. And I know you could argue it online nonstop, but whether or not Clark is the person or Superman is the person, get into that whole, it's just enjoy the aspects you want to enjoy instead of arguing things to death. But to actually make Superman a dork, that is his true, like he is dorky. That's really who he is at his core. He would rather sit in his apartment alone and watch, at one point Seinfeld reruns or whatever. Like he is just kind of a goofy guy. And then, he can be serious, obviously, but he's bunting. I'll try. I could bunt. That's who this Clark is. That's who this Superman is at his core. He's got that lovable dork thing without being like a total bumbling klutz. Yes.
Like I really appreciate that he's like not a caricature when he's being a dork. He's like a lovable, adorkable,
and like his almost clumsiness / klutziness comes from his enthusiasm.
Yeah,
like making a broad hand motion or something is something he would do and like hit, knock something over or something. Like that's how he plays this. Like he's not dumbing down Superman for Clark. He's upping Superman from what the level he's already at.
I always felt like the Reeve Clark was sort of like, I don't mind if people think I'm stupid. That's fine. I don't care what people think of me. Like,
right.
And I do appreciate that, but I'm really drawn to. I kind of like how Dean Cain had it be very like, he's mild mannered.
Yes.
He's not a total dork. He's mild mannered.
Yeah.
I've always sort of liked that aspect very much. George Reeves too. And I think Tyler does a really nice version of that. That is like a nice middle ground between sort of all of it. It's like the average of all of them, and I really like his take on it.
Another thing I lament about losing this show is obviously knowing we could have maybe gone to a season 6 or a season 7 that would have cemented this even further into the mythos and the legacy down the line. But I think people are going to be talking about this performance years from now still about just and it'll do the same thing Smallville's doing right now. There will be a resurgence where people are like, I didn't watch this show when it was on, and pick it up. And it's crazy to see how many of these people now that weren't alive when Smallville was on, like reaching out like the engagement and everything we get that are watching it like right now in the middle of it, and they're like, what's going to happen? And we're like, you're just gonna have to watch like we did. Like you're
wait till next week.
You're literally
next episode
binging.
on.
Somebody would like binged it in 2 weeks, like all 218 episodes, and I'm like, that's insane. You do it like we did. You slow burn for 10 years.
I see. So you don't have kids.
You finish the season.
Yeah,
you
so
have
you don't
to wait 4 months.
Well, you are children. You don't have children.
Yeah.
You are children. I think I would get whiplash if I watched that show that succinctly together to go from like a season 1 to a season 8 in like a week. It's like the drastic changes. Like I feel like you need the duration of a decade to go through that.
Seriously,
like everybody else did. You got to earn that. But I really think that this one's gonna hit that level too, because I think, and I hate we only get 4 seasons out of it, but also thank goodness we got 4 seasons out of it, because it to have come on the screen in such an uncertain time, right in the midst of the pandemic, and to be a spinoff of a spinoff of a spinoff of a spinoff, and really set itself apart from all of that, to where I don't even think about those other shows when watching this show.
No,
I know we compare things and contrast some things, and obviously they've made strides to somehow make ties to it, which you could argue whether or not that was a good decision or not.
Even in this episode, Lois referenced merging worlds.
Right. So I don't know. Take that for what it's worth, but I really think he's doing a phenomenal job, and we still have 3 hours to go, and I imagine everybody's going to be upping their game before it's all said and done.
I'm very hopeful that there will be. He'll have an opportunity to wear the suit again at some point in the future. Whether it's like for some kind of a crossover event in the future. Something like the Flash movie we saw this year, where they'll do homage to previous incarnations and stuff. I would love to see that, and I'm really, really hopeful that we get something like that from him one day, and from Bitsy.
Yeah.
All right. To get back to my original point before we tangented off like several blocks away, I was thinking about how Clark just doing these like little bits of sowing just little bits of disbelief in order to sell his case that he's not Superman. I had this idea of, it was just kind of like, this is like a lawyer. He doesn't have to prove that somebody did or didn't do the crime. He's just got to give reasonable doubt. The reasonable doubt causes it to be like, okay, I can't be absolutely sure that he's Superman, or that Clark is Superman. But I don't know. I just thought of it like a reasonable doubt kind of thing. I guess I'd watched too much Dateline.
12 Angry Men.
So
Too much.
I would love to see him. I would love to see him going around Smallville spreading rumors about a lot of other people. So it's like, oh, you just don't know which one you can believe. I don't know. Maybe Stanley's having an affair. Maybe Pam and Jim are pregnant. I don't know.
Yeah. We don't see Kyle and Lana in the same place anymore. So could they be the same person? Who knows?
Who can say?
All right, so we go to a flashback to the Daily Planet.
None of these people are ever here at the same time anymore. Any of these people.
Yeah. Did you know that Sophie and John Henry are the same person? Look at their height. Height.
I saw Craig post the other day that, I don't know if he's been listening this season or not, but I saw a post. He's like, is Sophie the tallest actor on the show now? Yes.
Quite possible, yeah. So we got to give a shout out to Douglas Smith, who comes in here playing Jimmy. Douglas is the brother of Gregory, who directed the episode. He's an actor in his own right. And I looked at Douglas's long resume, and I was like, oh man, what is this, like a nepotism kind of thing, or something? So like, oh, you're a family relation, you get to be on my show. No, he's been an actor in his own right in Vancouver for a long time. And I was really happy to see that he was actually in one of my favorite X-Files episodes as like a kid. There's a very disturbing episode called Home.
Oh, he's in Home?
Yeah, it starts off with a bunch of kids playing baseball out in the field, and they knock the baseball. Douglas is the pitcher.
Oh, wow.
of that little league team.
That's
so
crazy.
He's been around for a while.
Wow. So he's still playing baseball after all these years.
Yeah.
Jimmy wants to be quote unquote pals with Clark. Calls him CK. I caught that.
Yep.
And Clark's just refusing, and Lois pulls him aside. He's like, hey, you got to make friends, maybe don't like play the game. Just be terrible at the game. And then that's when Clark's like,
be terrible.
I can be the bunt guy. I can be the bunt guy. All right. So we go back to the present.
Well, I did like, I don't want to gloss over the fact, but I did like, we also got, discussion of, my dad never wanted me to do sports and, that whole thing.
Yes.
That's an aspect I always like, that dynamic of
me too,
of whether or not he should be allowed to do something like that, and how he can skirt the issue. Just be terrible. It's a good idea, Lois.
Be terrible. Yeah. I
remember that one time I let a whole school bus of my classmates just die.
Yeah,
just because it's my secret is more important.
Yeah,
I'm destined for greater things. Anyway. We go back to the present, and we're standing outside the Sequoia, where we're going to see a movie that I'm really looking forward to seeing. They finally changed the marquee to I Still Don't Know What You Did Last Flag Day, which is a movie I need to see.
Yeah.
Corey, Malcolm, John, Jordan, they're standing in line, and Timmy Ryan walks up. And we remember Timmy was one of the people that stepped out when Clark went down in the premiere. And he is pissed that the Wonder Twins, quote unquote, have superpowers. And he talks about how he had to take XK to keep up with them. And they ruined his life. And he starts making a big old scene until Kyle breaks it up. And he says, guys, I think you should leave. He says.
I'm weary of anybody with two first names. That just scares me. Timmy Ryan. I like how he took weeks to finally work up the courage to, and also I feel like Morgan Freeman in The Dark Knight Rises talking to, that accountant that was pseudo going to be the Riddler or whatever, that had figured out, or is the Dark Knight, that figured out that that Bruce was Batman. It's like, okay, and your idea is to go pick a fight with him on Main Street in front of people? Like, maybe that's not the best. Maybe that's not the best plan. Yeah, continue. It's more for the end of the episode discussion.
Timmy takes his ball and goes home. He yells, "Fine, Superboy wins again." Anyway, we go to the Gazette.
Idiot.
And that's when the crib is presented to Chrissy, and Lois advises that maybe you should have Kyle do a safety check on the crib.
Well, they don't recommend those mobiles anymore. They thought it was a bad idea, and I think we saw why.
Yeah.
So Chrissy announces that she's going to sell her share of the Gazette.
Lois builds furniture about as good as she spells. Let's.
There was a little bit too many extra parts in that bag that she gave her.
Yeah.
A few too many.
Lois is upset because Chrissy is going to sell her share. We're supposed to be a team. We're going to lose the Gazette if you do this. But Chrissy's like, I have to do what's right for my family. And we see that Kyle is also selling his dreams too. His grill.
Okay, that was cute the first time, but by the fourth mention of it, I was like, why are we still talking about this godforsaken grill? Like,
when we were talking about it as seriously as though a $500 grill is worth the same as her stake in the
several $1,000 worth of that newspaper, and it was like, I couldn't sell my grill either. And I'm like, is this supposed to be comedic? Because they're really trying to sell it as a serious bit. And
I guess you can't buy a couch now. Like... Like, really, what is the...
So that's the...
How are these things comparable?
That's the deposit at Water and Light, right? That's what that's what that covers.
Oh, buddy, we're going to put the grill right up here on the fridge for everybody to look
Just going to pin it right here for everybody.
Oh.
We don't actually see this, but it's kind of a clue to something going on behind the scenes, which is Kyle realized that plug-in grills are just as good.
It really did.
You know, just going to have to get that plug-in grill that's cheaper. I don't have to get all propane and all that all the time. I'm going to sell my grill, but I'll make it a big thing.
It's gonna be
I didn't want to sell this thing, but
I hate to see it go.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think it's going to get any traction way up there in the firehouse. Maybe down on the sidewalk in front of the fire station where people actually walk by.
Maybe on Marketplace or something.
Just
just
here or there. I don't know.
Your regular Smallville shopper is thinking to themselves, I need to like grill burgers, and I need to maybe light something on fire to do that. I wonder where I could find the firehouse. The firehouse might be a place where I could find something to light on fire. Yes. Anyway.
That's where I go for all my grills and abandoned babies.
Jesus.
Kyle warns Clark about Timmy, and this leads us into another flashback where Clark bunts the Daily Planet to victory against Luthor Corp. And Jimmy and Lois congratulate him, and Clark is beaming, and he's like, I've never felt like part of a team before. So
yay.
Poor lonely Clark.
And then everything from this Jimmy moment on, I was like, shut up, Jimmy.
Yeah.
He got on my nerves. I'm sorry. It's a little too eager. Like, dude, like... I cringed a couple times. I was like, why are we pushing this so hard?
Don't you want to be pals? Can we be pals?
Can we be friends? Why are we friends? We're going to be friends? Come on, let's be friends. Can we be friends?
But we can only be friends if you play softball, because if you don't play softball, then it's not like we still work together and can be friends in the office. No, it's got to be softball.
And if you miss a softball game for a totally legitimate reason, I'm going to be an absolute dick to you about it. But still, we need to be friends. Let's be friends. It's like, okay, calm down, Jimmy.
Yeah, it was a little bit weird how he would take Clark's willingness to be a part of the softball team compared to his willingness to just be his friend.
Yeah.
that is a prereq. That's a condition for being a friend is joining a softball team.
Yeah.
You let me to play ball?
You really let me down. Okay. I didn't know I let you up. I didn't like it.
Sorry.
It's like Don Draper in the elevator with
I don't think about you at all.
You at all. Yeah. If that's what it takes to be a friend, I've never had a friend in my life.
How do you think I met all of you? It's just this long con of a podcast. Can we be friends? Can you listen? Can we do this? Can let's be friends? It's the only way I've retained any of you.
I didn't appreciate Lois's comment. Like, no, friends you can actually hang out with. And I was like, now wait a second.
Now that just means
does
Lois,
once a year count?
That just means Lois doesn't want him to hang out with Lana.
Yeah. I just realized.
Yeah.
I just realized Steve did a Jimmy Olsen on you, Derek. So
he did. Well, yeah,
he did do that.
Wow.
Maybe we could be friends, but we got a podcast together.
Yeah, but we got to do. You got to be on my softball team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we go back to the.
That's why I didn't like it. No, I'm just kidding.
We go back to the Kent farm. We see that Jordan and Jonathan are still playing Killer Instinct 4 years later. They're still playing that same game.
Got to beat it, man. Got to beat it.
It's the only one we paid.
Won.
It's the only one we paid for. Also, did they not go to school anymore? I guess we can't afford to be on that set now.
I assume that this is summertime.
You would think.
I could have sworn that because nobody's actually going to school, so I'm thinking this is summer. But
I'll go with that. I'll buy it. I can't remember the last time we actually saw them in school.
Season 1? Season 2?
Season 2. Yeah, definitely the Bizarro season. I don't remember the Moxie season how much they were in school. I have to think at least more than they have been now, which is none. But sure, we'll go.
Right,
yeah. I guess it's the middle of the day. They're at the movie, standing outside the movies. I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Jonathan feels bad about lying to his friends, and Jordan's like, welcome to the club. Downstairs, Lois and Clark have takeout from Bazumba's for dinner. I was very happy to see the bag sitting on the counter. I am waiting for the special episode where they actually go to Bazumba's.
It's a very special episode of Superman and Lois.
We already missed out on Kyle's bachelor party, you know. So Clark asks the boys, who else knows? And they admit, Candace too. And Clark is like, you told your girlfriend.
Hold on. Let's go down the list here. How many people have you, and then I love it was turned around. It was like, okay, well, how about John Henry and Lana and Sarah? And, I did like
That's
Jordan.
different.
I did like how Jordan, they Jonathan kind of pinned it on Jordan, but not really. It was like Jordan told Candace, and it was like, yeah, because I didn't want Jonathan to have to go through the same thing I went through with Sarah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you also kind of feel like would have been retroactively undone now, but they seem to be
good again.
They seem to be in a good place, so I'm not going to question it because that was one of the weaker elements of the.
I don't know.
He's gone now.
Forth there.
I'm still rooting for those two kids, though.
I don't think she's gone. Tim said the same thing. He was like, "Oh, that was her send off."
I
think they just took her just to go show her somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think they.
Of course, I thought Kyle and Chrissy were gone too.
Yeah, no, I think everybody's going to be back in the finale. What? Well, so. We'll talk about this in a minute, but yeah, I feel like there was a way to implement everybody here that they mangled a bit. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the next day. Lois is talking to the boys about how long Clark has kept a secret since he was 4. His parents were hard on him about it because they were scared that he was going to be taken away, and he kind of grew up with that constant fear that if I give away my secret, bad things will happen. So cut your dad some slack because that secret really cost him. And that leads us into another flashback.
That's also that's the conversation with your dad was on an island by himself for all those years. And
yes.
Right.
That Robin missed.
Apparently I need to go back and watch that. I was just typing as I was watching. Sorry. I wasn't folding laundry though. All right, so we go to another flashback, more softball. Clark is late, shows up in the 9th inning. But Jimmy forgives him easily for being caught in traffic. Clark is losing faith about this actually working. But Lois tells him to get back out there.
Go ahead, Frank. Then I have a question.
I respect the effort that even when he's like, which I would have been ready to just pull the plug too, but Lois is encouraging me. He's like, I guess I'll try, but this is really, it's not going to end.
No. Did anybody else think they were kind of building toward a situation here where Jimmy was let in? I think we've had one mention of Jimmy in 4 seasons. before this. I feel like there was one time Jimmy Olsen was referenced, and I may be wrong. I may just be pulling from Supergirl or 38, that Clark stuff. But did anybody else feel like they were building toward a situation where Jimmy was let in on the secret, like he finally told him, but then Jimmy ended up dying for the secret?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He's gonna die.
I really thought that was going to be the moral at the end of the episode, as somebody who was let in on it, but then was killed as a result. Like he wouldn't, they knew Jimmy knew, and he wouldn't tell, and they killed him for it. That kind of thing. So that's where I thought we were going. Since there's been no Jimmy for this long, why are we suddenly utilizing him?
It did seem like, well, clearly Jimmy's not around anymore if we're just seeing flashbacks of him. So, yeah, maybe that's what happened to him.
Also, Jimmy's not around anymore because he's freaking annoying. Go away, dude. You got a stage 5 clinger over here.
You wouldn't play my softball game. You can't be frank.
Back to the firehouse. Kyle and Chrissy are talking about their respective sacrifices, the steak and the Gazette versus, the grill. I think he says his truck, too. He's selling his truck. And Chrissy's having problems moving on, getting more work. And even if they sell it all, even the collector's edition singing trout, they're still not going to be able to afford this house in time.
Read the room, Kyle. Just
yeah, man. Yeah, man.
It's a collector's item.
I feel really bad for Chrissy because clearly Lana was the grown up in that relationship always. In their marriage, and since they had been together since basically high school, he never had to grow up at all. So I think Chrissy is. I wish there were just moments of it cutting back to her when discussing the grill, the fish, where it was like, "Oh God, he's an idiot, isn't he?" What do you mean you can't watch whites and colors? What do you it's that kind of
all right,
you're just so much better at laundry than I am.
Yeah. Dishwashing detergent, you can't put the hand soap in the dishwasher? But I don't understand. Why not?
I'd just mess it up if I tried. I'd just make it worse.
Diapers. That's more your territory.
All I got to say is don't get divorced, because it's like, I don't know anything. And she knew everything.
Look, we've got our own personal Kyle right here.
Yeah, but I am selling my grill, so I'm contributing.
It's good to laugh. We are laughing. We love you, Robin. We love you, Robin.
Thank you. No, it's fine. The boys apologize to Clark about Candace, and Clark asks for their help. So they go to the Ryan residence to really gaslight. And it really is like Timmy is standing firm, but and then his mother's like, are you on drugs again? And now you're starting to like.
That was low key hilarious.
Oh,
that was kind of funny. Are you on drugs again?
I know, but it's also like you're like,
it's terrible.
Like you said, you're feeling bad for the bully, but you're also, like, wish this guy would shut up.
So here's what I thought. That kind of ended abruptly, that whole scene with Jonathan and Jordan feeling very uncomfortable. I wondered what lengths they were about to go to sell this. Because I almost thought when he got up and ran out, this is my mind working overtime, I thought Jonathan and Jordan were going to go after him. We're like, we'll go talk to him, that kind of thing. Yeah. And I thought one of them was going to be like, have kryptonite in their pocket and let Timmy get a punch in or something. Like goad him to get a punch thrown and like show blood or something to kind of.
That would have been pretty clever.
That's where my mind went watching that. And so then it just became this awkward. We just made this boy's mother accuse him of being on drugs to lie about you being Superman. We feel really.
Or it could have been like, Clark's like, hey, I got it. Do you mind if I use your bathroom? And then he goes and plants drugs in Timmy's room. It could have been really dark.
Oh, man.
What's this, Timmy? I didn't put that there.
Well, they could. They could have also done another thing where Clark's like, "Can I use your bathroom?" And then goes and does a Superman save. It's on TV in the background, and then the toilet flushes and him coming out washing his hands, or wiping his hands on a towel or something. What I miss?
And then Mrs. Ryan walks in the bathroom and sees a Clark-sized hole in the wall,
just in the ceiling.
It's just like what the. All right. We go to a flashback. We're at the Daily Planet at night. Clark is late again.
We also got a Jimmy fist bump with the custodian going through. Ring that bell.
Ring that bell.
Ring that bell.
Jimmy is connecting the dots, and we see the helicopter, the train, the falling elevator at Eiffel Tower. If either of those other references weren't clear enough.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As Perry White would say from Smallville, you're Johnny on the spot, Clark.
And he asks Clark straight up, "Are you Superman?" And Clark denies it. And Jimmy's like, I wonder if anything crazy will happen during our championship game.
So then I'm like, okay, well, Jimmy's going to set a bomb off somewhere to try it.
Yep.
Try and catch him in the act. This Jimmy is diabolical. He will go to great lengths to be your friend. And if I have to blow up an entire trolley to prove it, I will.
Okay, Clark, it's softball or hack and sack. You choose.
Frank, my mom lives in Hackensack.
We're back in the present. Clark and the boys arrive home with dark cloud over their heads because of what happened. But Lois comes up with an idea to help out Chrissy and Kyle. So they meet up with them at Vicky Mae's, and they tell them,
which is full. We brought in all the extras for this episode.
Yeah.
It's the only time that diner has been full this entire series.
Turns out Sam left money to Lois.
Yeah.
Didn't take any vacations, had a wardrobe full of Hawaiian shirts, so he didn't really spend a lot of his money. And so they're going to buy Chrissy out. Clark and Lois are going to be in charge of the Smallville Gazette, and Chrissy still has a job there if she wants it. And so they cheer. Kyle announces that he's going to buy dinner.
You mean I don't have to sell the grill? Anybody? Takers? Anybody?
You sure? I was really going to do it. I swear.
I guess I could knock off 25,
I would have loved to have been Kyle being like, well, screw this shit, and like pushes the plate off the table, and the next scene we see them out in front of the firehouse. He's grilling. He's like, I don't need to sell this now, guys.
My baby.
You got a steak in the Gazette. I got steaks on the grill.
Hey.
Let's go.
Go ahead and ding yourself. There you go.
We get a quick scene back at Kent Farm with John and Jordan talking. John is pretty much almost in tears, sad about what happened, and then thinking about Clark's life and is that going to be what happens to me, to us? He missed out on so much. What if now I have to miss out on life as well? And this is John, who wanted to be, a football player and go off and do things, but yeah. All right, so we're back at Vicky Mae's. Kyle toasts them and apologizes to Lois and Clark for his past behavior as Smallville's bully, and he toasts them to the best of friends.
I love she almost gets a glimpse. Chrissy's like, "Did I marry the town? Did I get knocked up by the town bully?
Yeah.
Are you an asshole? Are you?"
I love how Clark is about to be like, actually, you did.
He kind of
you
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is when Candace's dad, Mr. Pregandi, Emmett, walks in.
The Scarecrow.
And
the original
starts
the original Scarecrow.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Robin, we do this every time with you. That's the Scarecrow from Smallville.
Emmett Pregandi?
Were you not on that episode with Frank and I when we... Yeah,
we
sure,
talked
you
about
hadn't
this.
missed that many. He's what's his name from the Smallville pilot? He's the kid.
Yeah.
Oh, the actor that plays Emmett?
Yes, Emmett. Yeah.
All right, mind blown. I have to start the series over again. I got to start Smallville over again and just...
That episode in the diner where he pins him to the table. Frank and I were talking about that. It was like, that's
right.
crazy that's him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
In one out the other.
Yeah.
All right, well, awesome.
Hey, you're that Scarecrow kid. Whatever happened to you?
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting that, this leads, he's such an important part of the Smallville, how Smallville begins, and now he's such an important part
of how Superman and Lois ends. I thought the same thing while watching this.
Wow. I didn't.
Yeah.
Wow, that's just hitting me now.
Yeah.
All right.
Mind blown.
So
this
he
guy
immediately
bookends the history of superheroes on this network.
Which he does, yeah.
he's like-
Starts with Smallville, ends with Superman and Lois. It's all because of
Yep.
Jeremy Creek.
Yep.
he's DC's Ted McGinley.
Wow.
No, because Shrinking's going great. So he doesn't ruin every show he touches.
That's true. That's true.
Anyway, so Emmett starts talking about Clark's secret, and Clark's like, "Do you want to step outside to talk more?"
You always want to step outside.
He's ready to make a scene.
Yep.
And he's going to keep it indoors. And Kyle tries to help, and Lois even gets in and tells him to leave so everybody can just eat in peace. But Emmett says that she is covering for his alien ass. Clark's immediately says, "Don't talk to my wife."
Yeah.
That way.
Yeah. Don't talk about my alien ass. I'm not an alien, but don't talk about.
She's the only one who can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lois points, "That's America's ass."
That is America.
All right.
Truth, justice, and America's ass.
Kyle tries stepping in again, and that's when Emmett pulls a gun.
And Tyler just does that. Like he doesn't react. He just puts his arm out. It's like it's all going to be fine. We're going to take care of this like regular men.
Kyle immediately shrinks away and basically tries to cover Chrissy, which, that's good.
Yeah.
At first I was like, where's he running? Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So Clark tries once again to talk to him, and Emmett pulls the trigger. And the bullet travels.
Wait. Hold on. We got a long time before
Please.
that bullet hits. Let's discuss this. What is it?
Second by second. Go ahead.
There's a full 4 minutes here. When that gun went off, what were you thinking?
I was trying to think of how he. Okay, first thought was, have we seen him be bulletproof recently enough? Like, could Sam's heart make him less bulletproof? Like maybe he'll get a bruise,
is he
or
going to
maybe
take the
he'll,
bullet and it looked believable? That's kind of where my head went too. Is like, has he? I mean, we saw him undertake fire, and we've obviously seen speed and strength in this episode, but
right.
could a bullet do something?
Yeah. That was my initial thought, and then I'm thinking like, I mean, he could just move an inch to the left and be like, "You missed."
Yeah,
there's that too.
But then I thought about what just happened with Timmy Ryan, and I was and when he turned to look at Lois, and she's looking at him, which my chief complaint with this episode is Bitsy was just there. She didn't really do anything, and that's unfortunately been a huge part of this season. That she's just kind of been giving exposition, and she
fails the Bechdel test this episode, unfortunately.
She's not doing any journalism hardly at all this season, which Bitsy talked about going into it. I wish one of these remaining episodes was her version of this episode, like where she got to do what Tyler has gotten to do here, because I feel like it's honestly my chief complaint with the series. I mean, they've just treated her terribly, but Bitsy has done phenomenal with it. She's turned it into something. I mean, the cancer storyline, and now losing Clark and her dad, and everything with Lucy, and she showed off so well in season 1 what that Lois can do as a reporter, and then we've really just not gotten to go back to that well again. Because they have put her through all these traumatic instances, and she knocks it out of the park every time, even if she is just standing there giving lines in this episode and not being really a fundamental part of it as much as she should have been. I mean, I don't want to skip too far ahead because this is a monumental moment, and I want to discuss it. But if you're, and journalistically, I could explain this away. But my first thought is, okay, well, if Superman's going to reveal himself to the world, who would be the one to reveal Superman to the world?
I was going to ask this.
It would be Lois Lane. Okay, so from a bias standpoint, from a journalism standpoint, I get not doing that. She's been lying about him, or protecting him. I wouldn't say lying about him, but she's been protecting him all these years, and she's married to him. So that's wrong. And then we'll pick up that part of the conversation here in a minute. But yes, the bullet lands spectacularly as he does the shirt rip, but that moment that he turned to look at her, I was like, that we're doing this, and we're not waiting. We're not waiting to the finale to do this. We're doing this now.
He just kind of like, and it's all in that super, like what Smallville used to call Clark time, the super slowed down. And, it's not like she's really making eye contact with him, but he just kind of considers her for a moment in that millisecond.
She's already turned to him, I think, because she knows that bullet's not going to do anything. So she's not worried. But B, I think she's already looking at him. I think that was like her permission. Like that was her, you have to, it's time.
I think she was looking at him preemptively and being like, it's the jig is up.
This is who you need to, and now, they discussed that earlier. It's like, this isn't a Clark decision anymore. This is a family decision because it impacts all of us.
Right. And it's just like, you know what? You gave it the good old college try. We tried, but this is it. You gotta.
20 years is a good run. I mean, 20 plus years is I mean, obviously more than that. He's in his 40s and been keeping the secret since he was 4. But as Superman, you've had a good 2-decade run with this. It's and I think we're really realizing now that we can't hide this anymore.
And it's not even just a shirt rip here in this moment that's powerful. It's also taking the glasses off. And we have a lot of taking the glasses off, putting them on action in this episode that really...
lots of close-ups on the glasses, right? Like really drawing your attention to the glasses and how integral they are.
And we see in that slow motion that the super suit is also bulletproof, because we see the bullet just kind of collapse against the shield, just cave right in.
Superman returns.
And then we go into real time, and just everybody is stunned as just Clark is just standing there in the suit. Not just like he took a bullet as Clark and reveals that he's Superman. He is Superman there.
That full. I mean, he had the cape on and everything, and tucked back there. I know this only aired moments ago at the time, at the time this release of this episode, but I need those GIFs immediately that shirt rip, because that's going to go down as one of the greatest Superman shirt rips of all time. In the last, since
God talked to Moses.
Since God talked to Moses, thank you.
Emmett drops his gun, and Kyle deputizes himself.
Again, another instance of this episode. So you think Clark is Superman, and your plan is to walk into this bar and shoot him.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to go right back to jail. Even if it's Superman, you still attempted murder. And obviously Kyle's like, I got it from here. Drags him in.
And we get this lovely moment at the end of the scene where like Clark just kind of smiles sadly at Lois, and Lois just kind of looks back at him. And then we pan out to the outside of Vicky Mays as Superman looks around at everybody and starts apologizing to everybody about lying to them all this time, And
please enjoy your meal. Statistically speaking, it's still the safest place to eat in town. Vicky Mays.
And by the way, Kyle has all of your meals.
Yes.
Not just ours.
We sold the grill, baby.
All right. Anything else about this scene in particular?
Let's talk. Let's break it down second by second. No, I think it was so well done. I'm so glad they had Clark and Lois there together when it happened, and that it wasn't Clark off by himself somewhere doing it. I think her being there was so fundamental to this reveal. And I'm glad they didn't gloss over her just being in the booth when it happened. Like, they made a dedicated decision to show her and show that even in Clark time, still show that interaction, that connection between them, in a way that Tyler and Bitsy have done just magnificent as this Clark and Lois. I can't give them their flowers enough for how well they have pulled off these versions, these iterations of these characters. Yep. They have made them their own. They came into this as kind of a spinoff from versions of these characters they played that were a little bit more goofy for that universe. We kind of talked about that. It's like the live action Super Friends cartoons is what the Arrowverse turned into by the end of it. Not in a bad way. Again, I'm not saying that negatively, but it was far more lighthearted and, could get away with, silly things explained away very easily and stuff like that. And then to take what they did there and turn them into these very serious versions of these characters that have been together for 2 decades now, that have a family, that have sons. They have just sold every moment of this show to me.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Back at the Kent farm, we find out Candace was not the one who told her dad. It was Luther. They were in jail together, apparently. And now we have a warning. Luther is just going to keep sending people unless we don't keep it a secret anymore. Clark says when the bullet was fired, he thought maybe keeping the secret is doing more harm than good. And he asks Lois and the boys if it's okay and that there's no going back.
It tells everybody in the diner. So if Kyle buys your meal, we're all good, right? We'll just keep this between us. We're not going to tell anybody else. I noticed that Chuck was not a priority in this episode. Convincing him was not.
He was there, but he.
Nobody listens to Chuck.
He wasn't on the list.
No, he wasn't.
Of people to.
He's spending Luther's $10 million.
Yeah.
Off somewhere else. So they all say that they're with Clark, and Clark then apologizes to the boys. He just wanted them to have a life like he did.
I really liked that the way that he said that and the sincerity that I felt off of him. Like, I just wanted to give you a normal life. Like I managed to have as a kid, and I'm sorry, I can't give that to you now. Like, my kids too, but I can relate to that. Like, I want to give you everything, and I'm sorry I can't give you that. It's a relatable paternal feeling. I think any parent can relate to that.
So the boys are okay with it. They're going to get through it as a family. And Lois is like, "Are you sure?" And he says, "Yes." So she says she knows exactly who to call.
Okay, and then we'll return to our conversation a minute ago. Okay, so in the context of this episode, if Lois is not going to be the one to do the reveal, then who would you expect to do the reveal?
I was like, why would they call Jimmy? Yeah,
the first person who ever took a picture of Superman. Like, I feel like that was the next logical step, was to, and that he was now a journalist. He was now a reporter or something.
All right.
That they would. As plausible as his sister Janet, now who was a producer, now being the senior reporter for the on air division. I expected Jimmy to be the one, and that would be a very fulfilling bookend conversation on air between Clark and Jimmy. That yes, he is, and full disclosure, I've known you for a long time, and yes, and I lied to you, and I'm sorry I did that. Like, I thought that's how that was going to go down, because at that point we didn't get the reveal that Jimmy had died, which is kind of how I expected that to go. And so when he wasn't dead at that point, it was like, oh, they're going to bring Jimmy back and let him have this conversation with Jimmy, and no, we're just Janet. No offense to Janet, but it's just Janet.
We like Janet.
Janet's good. Like Janet. We have confirmation now that they're brother and sister. We've been curious about that previously, but I was like, okay, well, next logical step is going to be, or okay, I skipped one. We let Chrissy remain a reporter.
That's where I was going.
And it would parallel very well her interview with him at the end of season 1.
Yes,
I guess, but I almost was thinking oh, she already got one. Like,
well, my thinking was her breaking the story is going to put the Gazette on the map, right, and that's going to make it more successful.
Which is probably a little wrong since he owns it, but that's
that is true.
Again, journalistic integrity. We'll write that.
No. You're right. That would have been wrong. You're right. That would have been wrong. I didn't consider that. You're right. That wouldn't have worked.
I feel like
that was where my mind was going.
It was mine too. I feel like but I also went the same way with that. It was like, okay, well, that feels a little icky. So the planet makes the most sense. I mean, given the history of the legacy of Superman, of course it's going to be the Daily Planet do this. But again, it's like, we shoved Jimmy down your throat this entire episode. Be my friend, be my friend, be my friend. And Clark feels bad about all these people he's lied to and everything. So it just kind of seemed like the natural progression to me would it be that the reveal came to Jimmy. But
regardless
whatever.
of who it came to, I understand Lois not being part of it because of conflict of interest reasons. I do wish that she had been sitting next to
with
him
on
camera with him, and that it was an interview of the two of them talking about keeping this secret together as a family, as a couple, and that it wasn't just him. I do kind of wish that she was sharing that moment with him in that way.
It was very well done.
If she couldn't be the reporter.
I think it was very well done. Again, not a concept I enjoy, but when you do something that I don't enjoy well, if you handle that well, and I have to give you props for it, because I would not have ever thought that is something I would have liked to see, but damned it if they didn't pull it off, and very well. The other complaint I had was, okay, well, now, why did you reveal yourself? Well, a few weeks ago I died, and I came back and discovered, what that means to return. By the way, Lex Luthor killed me and killed my father-in-law, Sam Lane. What? Wait, and then I thought it was going to cut to Lex watching, and and I guess that would have been too easy. But there's again, he went to jail for not doing something that that he didn't do. Of course, he did do this, but I guess that he could have just said more lies, about me, since he did get out of prison for being found not guilty. But I almost expected, and even when Janet said, "Is there anything I forgot?" I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, this is going to be it." No, now it's Jimmy, who has made the trek to Smallville for one more confrontation about being friends.
All right, let me just walk us through what happens here, just in case we miss anything. Before the interview, Lois tells Clark how proud she is of him, that he's fought aliens. He kept worlds from merging. This might be the hardest thing he's ever done. Yeah. So Clark shakes hand with the press as he's walking, like the whole
downstairs
that nice?
Of the forum. Wasn't that great?
Cool.
Hi.
They're all just kind of, like, welcome to my house.
Very Superman.
Very Superman.
Yeah.
And so hi, I'm Clark. Like, we know Clark. You know, like that thing of like,
and just the look on all their faces, all those extras sold it well. It was a very well done scene.
They like an episode of Cribs, but Lois gave that Cribbo to Chrissy already. So Janet sits him down for a kitchen interview as the people of Smallville all turn their TVs on, or sit in front of their TVs. And Clark introduces himself as Superman. Janet asks how it was possible to keep that secret, and he says, "You'd be surprised what a pair of glasses can do."
Yeah. I liked that. It was done. I liked how it did. I liked showing Kyle and Chrissy and everybody that's been lied to, Timmy Ryan and his mom. I think there probably could have been an opportunity to have previously filmed Lana and Sarah.
Yes.
At another time when they were in, and I don't, obviously they would have had to been paid for the episode if they appeared in it, because they weren't full cast members anymore. But, I feel like that there was an opportunity there to show John Henry and Natalie watching. To show Sarah. And
how about a quick cut to like Kara sitting in her living room going, "Oh, come on. Jesus. Got you back.
But I did like, at least it showed the impact that it had on the people in this episode, that he because the girl from the store is watching with people in the store, and Denise.
So she asks why now, and he says, in Metropolis being a hero was easy. In Smallville he was just Clark. He kept a secret, it worked, and then he died, and people saw this. He tried hard to convince them, and it felt wrong to make good people doubt themselves.
People thought they saw something. I believe was the exact wording of that, and I was like, yeah, but they thought, but they did see something. Even Timmy Ryan's like, I saw you fly. So
he saw the strain on his family and decided to let go. And nervous about putting this out, but excited to not have to keep the secret anymore.
Yeah.
And Jen's like, "What do you want people to know?" And he's like, "I'm a regular guy. I'm a wild and crazy guy."
I kind of thought that's when he might have said like that I'm a friend.
That's what I expected him to say. What do people know about you? I'm a friend. Yeah, I expected the same thing.
She says, "You're anything but regular," and he says, "Beyond the powers, I'm a husband. I'm a father." I missed a lot of my kid's childhood. I struggled to balance it all. And like anyone else, he loves his family and just wants to be better for them.
Did you expect them to be like, and the boys don't have powers? They're fine.
Kind of.
They're totally fine.
Yeah. And
I don't know how you'd sell that at this point, but I kind of thought they might try, but I guess that would kind of go against the whole thing of coming clean.
And then we get to say, I mean, Janet starts asking about Clark's parents, and they kind of fade out of the interview. Because
I was like, you could have given them at least one more moment in the show. They haven't gotten many, but okay.
My dad was a farmer. My mom's a bench.
My mother, the car.
There's applause, and Janet's asking, was there anything I missed? And then we go to another flashback. Post-game, Daily Planet, Clark congratulating Jimmy on the championship. Jimmy says he realizes Clark just didn't want to play, and they don't have to be buds anymore.
Wait, why is that?
Yeah.
Why? We can't be...
No, we're done. We're over.
Okay.
And then he announces last one to Babowski's, buys the beer.
Hey.
Yeah, I love the Babowski's reference.
I caught that one. And Lois and Clark talk, and she says, I know you missed it on purpose just to keep the secret. And she's asked if he's okay, and he's like, yep, I'm used to it. Which is sad.
Yeah.
And then we go to another great moment. We've gotten several. Clark standing in front of a mirror, just kind of looking at himself, looking at that scar on his chest, just putting the glasses on, taking them off. And this is a moment where Clark just realizes he doesn't have to put the glasses on anymore. And he feels weird kind of leaving without them.
Yeah.
He says, and we go to Vicky Mays, and everybody smiles at Clark when he kind of rolls in. But fun enough, this is an interesting little bit that I caught. Denise still calls him Mr. Kent. She's not like, oh, Superman. You know, he's still Mr. Kent.
Everybody treats him completely normal, and I loved that.
I love that.
And that's when we get the final meeting with Jimmy. He's not dead.
He's not.
Don't know where he went, but he was gone.
That was like cute, but didn't really do much for me. That little meeting at the end, it was like, oh, that's okay. That's a nice bow tie on it. But
I think it would have been a nice bow tie on it. Thank you. Ding yourself, please. I think it would have been more impactful had he been the one to do the interview. I really do.
I like that. Idea. I hadn't thought about that, but I really
those together.
Yeah. I think
and maybe had an extra longer interview.
Well, and it would have turned into a conversation between the two of them. Like it would have been given him his chance to do the apology, publicly as somebody that he had lied to, that he had led astray. And recently we've had to cover this up for a bunch of people, and I didn't feel right about that. Just like I didn't feel right doing it to you all those years ago. And I don't know. That's just where my head was at with it.
I really like that. That would have been cool.
But it was a good button on the end of the episode, if nothing else. And in an episode that didn't have any kind of... we left in such a good place. I was almost glad we didn't do like a Luther reveal at the end, like a looming, okay, we have 3 hours left, and that it's going to be doom and gloom from here on out. So I did like that it was a nice little happy note to end on.
Dark Side saying, set course for Smallville. Something like that,
We've done that one already.
So 3 episodes left.
And I don't know where they're going, really.
I have the titles here.
Yeah.
Sharp Dressed Man, Live and Die Again.
I don't like that. I don't like that a bit. I'll tell you that much.
Sharp Dressed Man.
No, Sharp Dressed Man, I'm sure is about Lex getting his suit and being all clean shaven and back in the business.
Agreed.
I don't like To Live and Die ... again a bit. A bit. I don't like it a bit.
And then, of course, it went by so fast, which is how we're going to be feeling.
Which is a great. At least it's not finale.
True.
It's, no, I thought that's a nice little bookend for that episode title. But yeah, that episode 9 title gives me great pause. I'm very worried about that.
Yes.
But what have you? 3 hours left, and I don't know what's going to happen. at all. I mean, I this could have been the finale in a way,
In a way, yeah.
And I mean, I would have wanted things done differently had it been, but
less focus on Jimmy and Kyle and Chrissy.
Well, it could really have been, the penultimate could have been the final whatever, the final battle. I mean, we don't know. It's obviously whatever's going to happen is actually going to have ramifications. I think I don't know how much of a happy. I'm afraid this might have been our happy ending here, and not what we're going to end up with, which. I don't know. I'm nervous for what's coming, but what I think's coming. But on the whole, I mean, we got nothing. I mean, we don't really have any clues as to Doomsday's in the wind. We know Lex is going to get his suit. Whether or not he gets it from John Henry or has built his own, we don't know. They've been tying things up as they go. To the point that it's like, okay, well, what does 3 hours left look like if you've already done X, Y, and Z at this point? He's dead. He's been resurrected. Everybody knows now. So things that we thought were going to take longer in the season, they knocked out early. So I don't know.
I mean, we did refer to it, another like hanging thread. Like, does this mean the boys' secret is going to be out?
Right?
Are they going to be
right? There's
living?
that, and obviously what Frank said at the beginning of the episode, like, okay, well now everyone knows, who might set their sights on. Yeah. So I assume hour 8, other than the Lex storyline, is the ramifications, or if they do any kind of fallout from this of what that's going to look like, because it is 3 hours.
Brian Austin Green walks into town.
Yeah, it is.
Metallica.
It is 3 hours where everyone knows. What's going on. So
between those last 2 titles, I do have to wonder. So I'm very nervous about 9, but then even 10, it all went so fast. I'm like, is that about the boys being forced into adulthood?
I don't know.
Like the childhood went by so fast.
Obviously, I think maybe if the show had gone to 7 seasons, I don't know that would have been the finale title. I like if they just used it here because of the expedited nature of this final season. I still wonder if we're doing like a time jump or something. Like I feel like that we've got to go a little further down the road to see how this impacts.
Like Jordan will have a goatee
to show that time has passed.
That'd be important.
But I still, if you're going to go to these links to show us a human-hearted Clark that's aging, at least let me see them grow old together. At least let me see that they, if he hangs up the mantle or whatever that may look like, at least show me that they get to be happy in the end forever. Because if it ends any other way, if one of them were to perish, or that there's no goesies backs on this one, Of course, I also said I didn't like how I wouldn't have liked a reveal. That I wasn't looking forward to if that being what they did, and obviously I was proven wrong this week. So
yeah, I don't know.
We shall see.
I'm nervous, but very, very excited to find out.
I mean, we have 3 weeks left of this show.
I know, man.
Oddly enough, Supergirl series finale at the time of this recording aired 3 years ago today.
Huh. Wow.
There you go.
Well,
with that.
There it is.
In the meantime, you can find us online, supermantvtalk.com. We're on Twitter at supermantvtalk. We are on Threads and Blue Sky as well at Smallville Podcast, and Instagram and TikTok at Smallville Podcast. What do you think is going to happen? Tweet us, email us, go to the website. Let us know your thoughts. And if you're going to that much trouble to get in touch with us, you might as well head over to Spotify and Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating and review, so that we can pivot to Superman movie talk when this is over. Because
I like it.
Again, as we said last time, it's sad we only have 3 weeks left. Yeah, it's exciting. We only have 7 months left. To whatever comes next. So, anything we're forgetting? You good?
No.
I'm good. You good?
We're always
just a regular podcast.
Just a regular podcast for regular guys. We're always
around.